Scales, we know they are a collection of pitches that make up the foundation of Western music, and we often practice them for technique. But how do we actually use them to improvise, to practice the art of improvisation? Well, today I have 3 strategies for you to implement into your practice specifically for jazz improvisation. Hi, and welcome to the Saxophone Academy. I'm Dr. Wally Wallace. Today, we're going to be doing a playing workshop where we're going to be taking some scale exercises and showing you how to improvise, how to build jazz lines using these things. So let's play together. We're going to explore these sounds. We're going to talk about openings, scales descending, and resolutions. By the end, I think you're going to have some really interesting ideas and also free your thinking of what fits over what chords and how to apply scales to your practice. Now, step 1, we are going to break out of the rut of playing the scale from the root to the ninth back down to the root, conjoined without any skips or breaks. Most of you have the good sense to know that when we improvise a jazz melody, we don't actually play the full scale up and down unbroken. Though I have heard that. I've heard things, man. But we know we're not going to be doing that. But just so we're on the same page, let's play our concert F scale together. We're going to start on the tonic, go to the ninth, and back down. Then we'll immediately break out into some improvisation exercises. Now, let's also do diatonic sevenths, where we simply stack thirds, skip every other note starting on each scale degree. This is a powerful exercise because by doing this one simple thing, we're going to be building the 1 chord, the minor 2 chord, the dominant 5 chord, the major 4 chord, the minor 3 chord, the minor 6 chord, so on and so forth. By doing diatonic sevenths, we cover the entire spectrum of diatonic harmonies in the key. So this is important, and we're going to specifically apply it to openings later in the video. So let's play this together to make sure we have this under our fingers as well. Exercise 1, let's start on each of the scale degrees descending. Let's break out of the rut of playing the scales up and down. We're going to start in each of the chord tones, the root, the ninth or second scale degree, 5th, 7th, 3rd, and descend, and notice where the note lands. Now, we're going to do the same thing again, and we're not at the point where we want to use a metronome or certainly not a backing track just yet, though we will later in this video. But what I want you to do is start on each of these different chord tones, descending, and I want you to hear, can you anticipate where they're going to land? If we go all the way down and we land at the beat, it's 1 note lower than our starting note. I want you to hear it. So when we start on the root, I want you to hear the 7th before you play it. When we start on the 3rd, I want you to hear the 2nd or 9th, depending on how you're hearing it, so on and so forth. Can you hear and predict what the sound's going to be like when we land on the beat? So interestingly, when we start on the tonic and we play the octave down, we land on the seventh, a rather tense note. That's the leading tone of the home key. So that is a tense note. That's a dissonant note. That's a no-no note. We can't land on that note. It's a no-no note.
We can't land on that note. It's a no-no note. No-no. No-no.
That is a beautiful place to land on the beat. Another option, rather than landing on the seventh on the beat, what if we just do just a little leap up to the third scale degree? Because the third, I hear lots of continuations of phrases. When I hear the third, my ear immediately tells me, oh, this could go here, this could go here. There's a lot of different endings and resolutions I hear starting in the third. So why don't we just do a little leap up to the third on the beat at the end of the scale and resolve it from there? Now let's put on your metronome or a backing track. Before I tell you what backing track, don't worry about it. Just play along with me and have some fun. Let's practice starting at the tonic, going all the way down, and practice resolving from the seventh and the third, go back and forth, and practice improvising different endings. Make it spontaneous. We're actually practicing the roots of improvisation. Now, we're cooking pretty good thus far, but let's add an opening, a way to get into the scale to spice things up a little bit more. And like in chess, it's good to have a certain few openings under your belt for certain situations. So let's remember those diatonic sevenths. Let's do a simple arpeggiation up, leading to the tonic or the root note, and scale down, and then try some different resolutions. And as I was doing that, I'm hearing something that Charlie Parker would do all the time that I really love, is starting on the lower neighbor, putting the lower neighbor on the strong beat, then arpeggiation up. So try that, and then that also puts the tonic, the root note, on the beat, and you can continue to resolve that way. let's put these three elements together: the opening, the descending scale, and a resolution. Multiple options here. Practice improvising, doing them in time. Now, I know some of you are thinking, but what's the backing track? What are the chords? Which part of this goes over which chord? Is this over the 5 chord, or the 2 chord, the 1 chord, the 1, 2, 5? How does this fit? Don't worry about it. It's none of your business. Don't worry about it. I'll talk about it at the end. Right now, you just make good melodic lines, practice improvising the opening, the descending scale, and some different resolutions. We'll talk about specific chords at the end. What you're going to find is it's highly flexible. Now let's start on a different scale degree, the 5th. Very fine note, one of my favorites. It's easily in my top 8 notes of the major scale. 5th is a great note. Now, if we start on the 5th and go down, it ends on the 4th scale degree. Not a darn thing wrong with that, but I hear a lot of options on the 5th. I hear a specific ending that I want to play that starts on the 5th. So how do I get there? Well, we can add a passing tone. And that puts the A, on alto, the 5th scale degree, on the B. Now, some of you are screaming up and pointing at your screen and saying, the bebop scale. That's the bebop scale. It's a passing tone of the key center. It's the flat 6 sharp 5th of the major scale. So it's that B, B flat, A on alto saxophone. But are you using the Mixolydian bebop version of the scale because you're starting on the 5th scale degree? I think that's just a terrible way to think about music. I'd rather sell insurance than think about music that way, that when I'm playing over the 5 chord, or anytime that I'm starting on the 5th scale degree, I'm playing the Mixolydian, which isn't a scale, it's a mode, or that I'm playing some kind of bebop variation of the Mixolydian mode. We're just playing in concert F. We're just playing major melodic ideas. We'll talk about the specific chords later on, but I also want you to know that common passing tone that we use in the bebop scale, we can start on the 5th scale degree, use the same passing tone. We can use any passing tone. Try doing the same thing, getting from A back down to A, or the 5th down to the 5th, and try every single possible passing tone in the major scale between those two things. They will all get you to the same place, and some of them sound pretty darn good. Now, put on a backing track, talk more about that in a second, which specific chords, but play along with me, where we just go from the 5th, and we're going to add an opening and a resolution. I'm just going to show you how I might practice. Once I've kind of rubato slowly, outside of time, practice figuring out the openings, practicing a couple different resolutions of this motion, then I'll put on a backing track or a metronome and practice improvising different ideas, ins and outs of this in time. whether it's the opening to I Got Rhythm or the opening of But Not For Me or whatever. I don't remember what key that tune's in, but regardless of the very specific chord progression, it's a long stretch of major that could open with a long 2-5-1 or a 3-6-2-5 or whatever. It's a major key area, and we have a lot of flexibility. Yes, sometimes starting at different places will sound better than others, but as you notice, when I'm practicing this, I'm placing it on the first beat, second beat, third beat, pickup. I'm putting the pickup on the second beat. I'm trying this a lot of different ways, and it generally works because it's the context of the chords. Quit playing Legos, snapping things into specific places, and start making art. And here's the truth. Your ears will guide you. If you're doing enough listening to the great, my record collection's behind me somewhere there. If you're doing enough listening to the great records, you'll know whether it sounds good and where to place it instinctually. If you're not listening to the records enough and you don't hear it, there is no scale exercise on earth that'll make you sound good. That's a harsh truth, but I think deep down you know it's true. So watch this video a couple times, play along with me, get your instrument out, play along, noodle along, try these things, then pause it, find your own endings, then put on a backing track just in this concert key. Use iReal Pro or whatever you want, or just put on a metronome and know that you're just in a major key area with a lot of different options. Keep your mind open. The more times you go through this, the more times you'll find, holy cow, there's a lot of flexibility in the way we play over lots of different chord changes in major key areas. Have fun. Hit me up with any questions in the comments below, and go practice.